Steven Spielberg's West Side Story isn't just a new movie based on old material, but a complementary piece that feels in conversation with the original. It is, for all intents and purposes, edgier, angrier, and more melancholy, with each performance rising to match this enormously high bar. And with cinematographer Janusz Kaminski, Spielberg creates one of the most visually dazzling works of Hollywood cinema in recent memory.
It's just you and me, forever.
The broad strokes remain the same, with a few plot tweaks and some minor rearranging. The story still unfolds in the mid-1950s, as did the 1957 stage show, but the remake's relationship to the time period is an immediate departure from the stellar original. Though it was shot partially on location, the 1961 movie exists in a heightened, vivid New York, whose real problems are expressed not through spaces, but through dialogue, dance, and Stephen Sondheim's heartfelt lyrics. In the new film, characters live under constant threat of displacement, and the intimate details of its production design create a living, breathing, decaying neighborhood that gives way to a rougher interpretation of the characters. The film's focus isn't new so much as it is renewed. It takes magnified aim at the white supremacy that underscored the original, and in the process, it creates a version of Riff who bursts onto the scene with a chilling combination of pain and entitlement. As Riff, Mike Fast carries himself like a cornered rodent waiting to bite before scurrying away. He's terrifying and mesmerizing, and draws attention to himself through posture. Meanwhile, Justin Peck's renewed choreography finds itself with flying colors during the ballroom dance attended by the Jets and Sharks. While it neither challenges nor meaningfully departs from the original's movements, it becomes an adrenaline rush thanks to how it's filmed, with the camera riding up and down lines of dancers like a gust of wind, and spinning around to match the energy of the room. The same can be said for the 2021 version of the delightful America, led by Anita, played by Hamilton's Ariana DeBose, moving and emoting with tremendous passion. The 1961 film was stage-like in its visual conception. Its story bursts to life through wide shots and lateral movement across the screen. In contrast, Spielberg and Kaminski charge breathlessly into the third dimension, exploring how these characters move through their environment and how the environment moves through them. Most magical of all is the way the film captures Tony and Maria, a wildly imaginative conception of young love that makes its other flaws simply melt away. As Maria, Rachel Ziegler brings both a radiance and a lifelike honesty to the film's operatic romance. She navigates a delicate intersection between nervous discomfort around Tony and a sense of comfort within that discomfort, like it's a part of herself she can share with him. In a narrative departure, Tony is rougher around the edges, with a background that makes his story one about wrestling between light and darkness, embodied by the contrast between flashy lens flares and heavy shadows. Ansel Elgort plays Tony with a subdued anger and regret, a perfect match for the film's crumbling corner of New York that wants nothing more than to rebuild itself. Tony also works for and has an incredibly sweet dynamic with a new character named Valentina. She's played lovingly by the great Rita Moreno, who played Anita in the original film, making for the most explicit connection between the two works. And just when the film feels like it might be too ironic or self-aware, Spielberg and Kaminski lean unapologetically into their dreamlike formalism, using bright lights and broken spaces to root the characters in the real and the ethereal all at once. When Tony ends up at Maria's balcony, the dingy lights from the cramped apartments above shimmer in the filthy puddles below and make him seem like he's walking on stars. It's the kind of breathtaking imagery that keeps bringing us back to the movies.
If you can fight in America, let them be back in America.
Steven Spielberg's visual translation of some of the original West Side Story's latent ideas makes it a stunning complementary piece. At once rougher and more dazzling, it has tremendous high points that seldom overlap with its predecessor, resulting in a remake that feels both hypercharged and wholly justified. A true thing of beauty.
I never seen you before.
You keep away from my sister.
For more, check out what we thought of Tick, Tick, Boom and House of Gucci. For everything else, stick with IGN.
If you can fight in America.